All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are sinking our teeth into one of the most compelling and mysterious characters out there, the mercenary known as Kane Stormsong. So let's just dive right in. Right off the bat, we're thrown into the grit of Arcist, and this line from a city guard tells you almost everything you need to know about Kane's reputation. He's a bounty hunter. And he's not just any bounty hunter, he's good. He's so good and so busy that the local law enforcement is keeping a running tally. This is a man who gets things done. But who exactly is this guy? Well, on the surface, he's a mercenary, and a seriously feared one at that. His whole look is designed to intimidate. His face is always hidden behind black cloth, with just these unsettling golden eyes staring out. He's basically a ghost in the city's criminal underworld. The perfect tool for anyone who needs a problem to just disappear. In the world he moves through, it's absolutely brutal. He's taken contracts from shadowy fixers like Malfon, and these aren't simple jobs. We're talking about escorting assassins like the Dark Elf Sorrowblade through wastelands crawling with every kind of danger you can imagine. In a world this harsh, his reputation for being cold and ruthlessly effective isn't just a point of pride. It's the only currency that matters. So you gotta start wondering, right? How does one man stay so effective for so long? There are whispers that he's been around for hundreds of years. That's not just skill or luck. No way. There is something else going on here, a dark secret that's fueling his very survival. And this is where we get to the twisted heart of it all. That price he pays, it's a curse, an affliction he just calls the condition. This is the horrifying secret he keeps hidden under those wraps, and it's the engine that drives his entire desperate existence. To put it plainly, the condition is a necrotic curse. His body is in a constant state of decay. We're talking his flesh is literally slowly rotting off his bones. And if he doesn't do something to stop it, this process doesn't just destroy his body, it drives his mind straight into an abyss of madness. And this is his central conflict, his impossible choice. To stop the rot, he has two options, and both are grim. He can drink this foul anti-necrotic potion made from, get this, embalming fluids and healing brews, or he can give in to the curse and consume the warm flesh of another human. The potion holds him together, barely. But the hunger for flesh, especially when he's been wounded, it's a monstrous craving that's always threatening to turn him into the very thing he hunts. So, how does he do it? How does a man who is literally falling apart stay alive, let alone sane? Well, he lives by a very strict, very precise set of rules. It's this precarious balancing act that he has to perform every single day just to keep existing. His whole life, his entire cursed existence, is propped up by three pillars. First, he's got to manage his supply of that potion. Second, he has to control the hunger, that monstrous craving that flares up whenever he's injured. And third, something much, much stranger, a connection to the soil of his homeland. So let's break that down. He's got to constantly get his medicine from alchemists like Gorlet. He knows that every wound he takes doesn't just speed up the rot, it cranks up that terrible craving for flesh. But maybe the most important rule is that he must carry a small pouch of sacred soil from his home, a place called Greythorn. Without it, he's slammed with nightmares. The hunger becomes overwhelming, and madness starts to creep in at the edges. That little pouch of dirt is his anchor to what's left of his sanity. Now, to really get a handle on Kane and his curse, you have to understand the world he's forced to walk through. And believe me, it is not just a world of petty criminals. This place is filled with absolute bona fide horrors. For starters, you've got changelings. These things are pure nightmare fuel, shape-shifting chaos beasts that are hunting him for something he did a long, long time ago. They can look like anyone, a friend, a child, the person standing right next to you. It turns every interaction into a paranoid mess where you can't even trust your own eyes. Then there are the Voidborn. Just try to picture this, a creature made of some kind of gray, unfinished proto-flesh with claws that look like they were carved from a bad dream. These things are summoned by his enemies, and they just slide into reality with one single horrific purpose: to tear it all apart. And it gets bigger. We're talking about beings on a completely different scale, like the Shadow Fiends. Think massive, horned monstrosities that are so powerful they can tear down a stone prison tower using nothing but chains made of pure shadow. These aren't just monsters, they are walking, talking catastrophes. And maybe the most terrifying of all, the mind slavers. Because these tentacled horrors don't just kill you, they corrupt you from the inside out. They can take over an entire garrison of holy paladins, turning them into puppets, and no one on the outside would have a clue until it's way, way too late.
So that brings us to the final, most important question. After seeing the man, the curse he carries, and the monstrous world he inhabits, you have to ask, where did this all come from? What could a person possibly do to deserve a punishment this cruel, this endless?
The origin story is a tragedy, and it's one he wrote himself. In his youth, hungry for forbidden knowledge, Cain betrayed a witch who loved him. That betrayal led directly to her being captured and burned at the stake. And in her final agonizing moments, with no tongue left in her mouth to speak, she unleashed the curse that would become his entire reality. And here it is, the chilling heart of the curse, spoken without a voice. You will never know death, Cain Greythorn, only hunger, only exile. You will feed until you learn you are the dog you made, and then you will feed more. With those words, he was denied the peace of death. He was condemned to an eternity of rot, of a monstrous hunger, and a lonely exile, forced to become the very predator she described, forever chained to the memory of his betrayal. So, in the end, we're left with this question. What is the real tragedy of Cain's storm song? Is it that a man is cursed to become a monster? Or is the true horror that a monster is cursed forever remember and feel the pain of the man he used to be? That's the question that sits at the dark heart of his endless, lonely story.